From a young Corsican officer to the Emperor of France, Napoleon Bonaparte's rise to power was nothing short of legendary. He reshaped Europe, commanded the most powerful armies of his time, and left behind a legacy that still influences the world today. But how did this ambitious leader rise so quickly? And what led to his dramatic downfall? Join us as we uncover the incredible story of Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who conquered Europe. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, just a year after it became part of France. Coming from a modest, noble family, he studied at French military academies, where his talent for strategy became clear. He was not just another soldier, he was a master of artillery, tactics, and leadership. But it was the French Revolution that truly changed his destiny. In 1793, at just 24 years old, Napoleon led the French forces in the siege of Toulon, a key victory that earned him a promotion to brigadier general. His reputation grew, and he quickly became one of the most promising commanders in France. By the late 1790s, France was in chaos. The revolutionary government was weak, and enemies surrounded the nation. Napoleon saw an opportunity. In 1799, he staged a coup d'etat, overthrowing the government and making himself first consul of France. Just 5 years later, he took the ultimate step. He crowned himself emperor in a grand ceremony at Notre Dame Cathedral. Under Napoleon, France became a military powerhouse. He reformed the government, created the Napoleonic Code, and expanded his empire across Europe. His leadership was unmatched, and his armies seemed unstoppable. Napoleon's genius as a military leader was demonstrated in his greatest battles. At Austerlitz in 1805, he defeated a combined Austrian and Russian army, a victory that is still studied in military academies today. At Jena and Austerlitz, he crushed the Prussians, solidifying his control over Europe. By 1810, Napoleon ruled most of continental Europe. His empire stretched from Spain to Poland, and he had placed his family members on the thrones of several countries. He seemed invincible. But even the greatest rulers have their limits. Napoleon's downfall began with one of the greatest military mistakes in history, his invasion of Russia in 1812. Believing he could force Tsar Alexander I into submission, he led an army of over 600,000 men into Russia. But the Russians refused to fight directly, using scorched earth tactics to starve the French army. When Napoleon finally reached Moscow, the city was in flames, abandoned by its citizens. With no supplies and winter approaching, he was forced to retreat. The brutal Russian winter and constant attacks decimated his army. Only about 100,000 soldiers survived. After his defeat in Russia, Napoleon's enemies united against him. In 1814, Paris fell, and Napoleon was forced to abdicate. He was exiled to the island of Elba, but he wasn't done yet. Less than a year later, he escaped Elba and returned to France in what became known as the 100 Days. With the people rallying behind him, he reclaimed the throne and marched to face the British and Prussian forces at Waterloo in 1815. The battle was fierce, but Napoleon's luck had run out. The Duke of Wellington and the Prussian army under Blucher defeated him, ending his reign forever. Napoleon was exiled once again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena, where he lived the rest of his life in isolation. In 1821, at the age of 51, he died, his empire gone, but his legend immortal. Though Napoleon's empire fell, his influence never faded. His military tactics are still studied today, his legal reforms shaped modern law, and his story remains one of the most fascinating in history. He was a man of immense ambition, brilliance, and flaws. A leader who reshaped the world, for better or worse. Thanks for watching Echoes of Time. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the past. See you in the next video.